everyone, it's Annabelle. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing an unboxing from an orchid nursery that I've never ordered from before, which is Lucke Orchideen. These are a nursery that I've heard a lot of good things about. One of my friends really loves them and orders from them quite a lot, and I've heard some good reviews from them. And they had some catleyas that I've been eyeing since November when they did a Brazil import. Including one that's very special and a little bit sought after, and I'd been eyeing them for ages and adding them in and out of the basket, and with the kind of isolation situation at the moment with COVID-19, I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to reward myself with orchids for whatever reason. I guess I'm at home more and I felt like it was a good thing to do to cheer me up. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too, and it gives you some ideas for your socially distant orchid hauls. I'm not spending money on petrol, so why not order orchids instead? So I think a lot of people are doing the same at the moment with the current situation, so I don't think I'm alone in this. With that said, let's get to unboxing. Okay, so I've got into the parcel. So as we're going through the unboxing, I'll just tell you a little bit about the kind of experience that I had through ordering. So I ordered on Wednesday night and got a notification Thursday morning that this had shipped, so that was very quick. I've been informed since that they ship Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I guess if you place an order before then, they do their best to get them out to their next available delivery day. There's a leaflet there. I don't speak German, unfortunately. Usually this sort of leaflet is telling you to let them acclimatise for a bit before unboxing. I could translate that. Any of you that speak German, that's their advice, I guess. It could be something completely different. These ones arrived this morning and they've been sitting for a few hours just to get to room temperature before I start unboxing them. So if it's telling me to do that, then I've done that. If it's telling me something else, then maybe I've done it, maybe I haven't. So yeah, they shipped out really fast, and today we are Tuesday. So they shipped on Thursday, arrived from Germany to the UK Tuesday. Obviously postal services through Europe are probably a little bit slowed by the COVID-19 situation, but to me that's still very, very good time. So you might see I'm wearing gloves, obviously. I think that it's probably wise to do because there's not that much information, or it's just kind of being more researched about how long the virus can survive on surfaces. So if you're ordering orchids, wear gloves, and I would wash off the orchids as well. Probably spray these down with a dish soap solution. There's a lot of loose bark in the packaging, so I'm guessing that's from one of the orchids, and they're all packaged in like wrapping paper, so it's very cool, very pretty. Got a rubbish bag right here, so everything's just going straight into the rubbish. Okay, so they're in really pretty paper. Bonus plant. Should we do that first, since it's right on the top? That's really nice. I had heard that one of my friends said that she got a free plant, and I did place quite a large order, so that's nice. Dendrobium Memoria. Okay. What are we guessing? I'm not sure actually. I would say Dendrobium from the shape of the canes, but the leaves make me think maybe Chisis. Don't know. Oh! Okay, I mean that's one I wouldn't have ordered, so I think it's really nice when they include things like this because it gets you out of your comfort zone a bit, and I feel like that helps you grow as an orchid grower, trying different orchids and learning about how different orchids respond in different environments in your environment. So it looks very healthy. It's very unruly. I feel like this is one that probably wants to be mounted, and I won't be growing it mounted, so Very, very healthy though, and very, very plump, shiny canes, and you can see some good roots there. So I think just a bigger pot will help to stabilise that actually, and maybe a stake. So that's looking very good. I hope you can see this. Sorry, the box is absolutely huge, so it's taking up quite a lot of room on the table that I'm unboxing with. But that is Dendrobium Memoria Christa Erdmann pink crossed with thyrsiflorum Wilmington School. I think those are the dendrobiums with the huge like flower displays. I think. Thyrsiflorum. What I will do is, if I can find pictures on their website, I will pop them up. I'm just going to prop that one out the way, and it has promptly fallen over. So next one. So I've just changed the camera angle a little bit, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, so this is Dendrobium unicum. And I've wanted this for a while, and I've been adding it to my basket and taking it out for a while, and Nina's recent video really prompted me to get one, because I guess it reminded me of how much I wanted one. And we have two buds at the end here. I hope you guys can see that. Sorry, the camera angle isn't maybe great. It's got two buds there and a new growth just starting at the base, so it looks very healthy. So that is Dendrobium unicum on a nice clean looking mount, and it looks like it is attached to the mount fairly well. Got a little Cattleya type here. It's looking quite good and quite healthy. Did order a few that were like younger, and there's a couple in here that actually aren't for me, they're for a friend. Oh, I hate sellotape. So so this is pretty much the reason for this huge order. This is the BLC Durigan Cruzeiro do Sol, and the Cruzeiro do Sol and the Aquarius I think are two very sought after Durigan hybrids, as well as the Hercules I think is gorgeous. They're quite kind of fashionable Catleyas. They're absolutely stunning, and they're not the easiest to get hold of. So that's a reasonable sized plant. I think this was described as 12 months from flowering size, which maybe if we can grow this on well, it might be a little bit longer. Looks like it's got good roots. And one thing my friend did say about Lucke is that she didn't experience any plugs. They all seem to be fairly freshly repotted, and I mean that bark looks very fresh to me, so I would agree with that. So that's the BLC Durigan Cruzeiro do Sol. So I've actually ordered two of these, and that root tip and new growth are making me extremely happy. So it's been a little bit scuffed in transport, but the growing tip is still completely intact, so that's absolutely fine. And it does have two new growths coming up there. I really hope you can see that, which is super, super exciting. So that is Cattleya loddigesii crossed with Cattleya skinneri. So this is a stunning hybrid. The picture they've got is just amazing. It made me absolutely fall in love. And I ordered two of these, one for me and one for a little gift for one of my friends. Can't find where this starts. There it is. Okay, so this is my friend's orchid. So I told one of my friends that I was going to be placing an order, and she said that she had been eyeing something from them for a little while. So I've got two of her orchids which I'm going to send on to her. So this is the LC Little Lemon Drops crossed with Laelia cinnabarina. And I think this was only something like £10. Both of my friends' orchids were very cheap. Does seem a little bit unsteady in the pot, which indicates it's been freshly repotted, and this is our new growth, which looks like it's just starting to poke roots through the new growth, so hopefully this is a good time to repot. I won't send it to her at the moment, I'll probably repot it and then send it to her, because she also grows in semi-hydro. So that's a really cute little hybrid and it looks very healthy. The packaged very well, I can't get into them. Oh, this is tiny. Oh, I know what this is. So they had some super cheap, I think it was like £5, Dendrobium parishii. So I ordered one because I was like, well, why not? Like for that, I'll order one. Nina's already sent me the anosmum, so I thought, well, for that money, I mean, I did expect it to only be a little cakey, but actually got a new growth coming off that, new growth coming off that. So the old bulbs don't look amazing, it's a bit wobbly, but we do have new roots popping out everywhere. So I think for £5, that's, or €5, something like that, it's pretty good. And I'm quite happy to grow something like that on, because it wasn't something that I specifically ordered for, it was just something that was super cheap and I kind of wanted to try out. So that's the Dendrobium parishii. Yeah, I ordered a lot of plants. So next, so this is another of the Cattleya loddigesii crossed with Cattleya skinneri. So I'm just going to grab the other one so we can compare. One's for me, one's for a friend, but this gives us quite a good quality control, I guess. So these are the same hybrid. They look very similar. This one's slightly bigger and has 2 new growths starting at the base there. This one's got new root tips. No new growth. Oh yeah, I can see 1 new growth at the base there. So, I mean, they're fairly comparable. This one is a bit bigger, but I wouldn't be disappointed with having either. So I think there's quite a good little control there for quality. It's not like I've ordered 2 and one's absolutely tiny and one's massive, which is what happened with my Caularthra biconutans. So, from a different nursery. Ooh, this one's quite a big one. Oh, and I've got a new growth poking out there. Looks very happy sappy as well. Positive sign. Oh, the sellotape. I'm so keen to get into these, I end up just ripping the paper. Sellotape drives me nuts. Right, this is a lovely established orchid. Loads and loads of growing root tips there. A root branching here, new root tips, new growth. So this one is, oh, so this is a really pretty hybrid. So it's Cattleya granulosa crossed with BLC Durigan, and then that is crossed with Cattleya loddigesii. Looks like a nice healthy orchid. I'm super happy with that. This is mainly Cattleyas, you may have noticed. They have such amazing Cattleyas at the moment. Oh, I know what this is. It looks a little bit dehydrated. But this is a bit of a tricky one, I think. Hopefully we got roots. We will see. Oh, it's a bit wobbly in the pot, but again, these all look like they've been fairly freshly repotted, so I can't judge too much by that. Oh, and the bulbs themselves look nice and plump. Oh, so tightly wrapped. Oh, it's falling out of the pot. But again, that indicates a fresh repotting, so that's not always a bad thing if it's got roots and is nice and plump otherwise. Still can't get into it. Okay, so yeah, you can see how loose that is in the pot. It's got a couple of roots. So I'm just going to unpot that now because I might as well, like, that's not established in any way. So this one is Cattleya nobilior var Amaliae. And this is one that spikes from the base, but I would say that that's a new growth from what I can see. But I think the pattern is that they do spike from the base of the plant. So who knows? I think that to me looks like a new growth. It is nice and plump. This root is alive for sure. The others, this root seems to be alive. Obviously this root and this root are alive. Hopefully it's still at a stage where it's producing new growths. Can you see that? New roots? Can you see that new root tip has dried there? Sometimes they'll reactivate. So I'm hoping that, because obviously it's just producing the new growth, hopefully that'll be in a position to produce new roots soon. I think this one was around €35. I know you may think that's super expensive for what it is, but these are not cheap orchids. They're real kind of collector's items, the nobiliors and the walkerianas. The nobiliors, particularly like the Amaliae or the varieties, named varieties, and they have quite a few of them at the moment. So I just thought I've been wanting to try them for ages. And the time to get them, if you're going to try and establish them in a new setup, is spring. So yeah, I went for it. Hopefully it'll be okay. Obviously it does look super dehydrated, but those bulbs look nice and plump. So hopefully the leaves will uncrinkle. This is one that I think they give a drier dormancy to in winter. So it could just be that it's coming out of that. Got a fly buzzing around. So that's a Cattleya nobilior var Amaliae. And I'm just gonna get rid of that pot. I know, so many more. It's like a birthday present, isn't it? Except I paid for it, but. So, still got one more of my friend's orchids to come, so I'm kind of thinking maybe this is one. Oh, nope, so this is the Cattleya walkeriana, and I kind of just chose the cheapest variety they had. Oh, same again. Because I'm quite new to these, I wanted to try a walkeriana and a nobilior. So I just went for the cheaper of the two that they had. They had a few named varieties. This does have some nice new root tips. Just focus on that nice little fat root tip there and a little branch there. And then this little nub is also branching. You can see that. It's got two little tips branching off that little root nub there. So although obviously they've repotted it recently and it's not fully established in the pot, but like that's got new root tips, so that's an ideal stage for a repot. And it doesn't look like the newest growth has produced new roots yet. It's tried one, but it would be great if that one would maybe be willing to produce a couple more root tips for me. That would be amazing. So that's the Cattleya walkeriana, and that's a variety Galopeira. The sellotape is just killing me on these. So much sellotape. Okay, so this is for my friend, and this is what I'm going to be sending on to her when we do swap. So this is LC Little Lemon Drops crossed with Cattleya, why not? And you can see the pot is absolutely full of roots there. Super, super nicely established. I think, again, both of my friends were super cheap little ones. So I think for the money that's an absolutely fantastic little plant. And also ordered some pots because they're quite cheap, and whenever I do a nursery order I just pop in these because I use them as inner masks for my self-watering systems. Got 4 more orchids to go, guys. I know it's quite a long one. Okay, so Okay, we've got a sheath, but I don't expect that that's going to produce anything, but you never know. Going for a new approach of just rip through the bits of paper that I can see don't have sellotape attached. I don't have any scissors at the moment, or I would have just cut through all this, but probably best because I always end up cutting bits of plant by accident. Okay, so this is, oh, I think this is I think this was called Cattleya Star Pink or something. It's Laelia rupestris crossed with Cattleya loddigesii. Oh yes, called Cattleya Star Pink. It's very big actually. I was expecting it to be much smaller than this. Nice healthy plant. Looks well established in the pot from what you can see in the root department. Their packaging is amazing, but it's taken me quite a long time to get into, isn't it? So this one is Cattleya Memoria Bleui, which is granulosa Christa Erdmann. And this is a 3 years from flowering size one, but I couldn't resist it from the picture. It was fairly cheap because obviously it's just like a little, I wouldn't call this a seedling. I think the word seedling is kind of chucked around for young plants. I would just call this like a young plant. But yeah, said about 3 years from flowering size. I agree with that. Oh, loads and loads of roots though. Looks very healthy. So this one's got a bit of a funny story behind it. So this is Brassavola Little Stars. And it's such a shame that it's come in a coconut husk trunk, basically, like a plug of coconut husk, because that's going to kind of destroy the root system when I do get it out. They do kind of peel apart from past experience, but they often take bits of roots with them. I'm terrible. I've got one Brassavola, which is Brassavola Morning Glory, which is a nodosa hybrid, a primary hybrid, and then crossed back to nodosa, so it's like 75% nodosa. And I got it thinking it was a fairly bulky plant. It kind of looked like this, but without these bigger growths. It was just kind of lots of this sort of size growth. Turned out it was actually 5 plants, like seedling types, in one pot. And I've just struggled with it for so long, like 2 years I've been slowly killing it, and it keeps trying to grow and I keep killing it. I say I keep killing it. I don't think I'm doing anything particularly wrong. I've tried it in like a standard Cattleya setup, so I've tried mounting it. Currently I'm mounting it on an inorganic mount by dusk and just letting it dry really well between waterings. It seems to hate that also. I wonder if I've just got a dud plant, because nodosa is supposed to be quite an easy grower, and I just don't seem to be able to get the plant that I've got to grow. So I thought I would just try again, because sometimes it is worth just trying a slightly different hybrid or just a different plant, because it can just be that you've got a bad, non-vigorous specimen. So I'm going to give it another go. So this is Little Stars, which is supposed to produce more flowers than nodosa itself, I believe. I was eyeing, because they had nodosa or Little Stars, which is a primary hybrid with nodosa. I was trying to decide between them, and the reports I read was the Little Stars produce more flowers, so I went for that. So let's hope I can do well with this, because I think I'll try potting it in semi-hydro first, because I have seen people growing them like that. If that doesn't work, I'll mount it. And if that doesn't work, then I just can't grow Brassavolas, and I will not buy any more. But I just wanted to give it another go, just to be sure that is it definitely me or is it the plant? So that's Little Stars. I love Brassavola's little chunky succulent leaves. And we're on to the last orchid. I can feel a lot of bark in here. Oh, we have a flower. So I know what this is straight away from the flower coloration. So this is Cattleya Alma Kee. which has about 48 or 50% Cattleya Alma Kee in it, which you can tell from the lip. I'll pop a picture up on screen. Obviously the flower has suffered in transport. It's just inevitable when you ship flowers. I would almost rather receive plants that are kind of just putting up new growths and flower them myself than receive one in flower, because it's never going to be as good, it's never going to last as long. But it does give us a really nice little sneak peek. And I just show you, if I can, that texture on the lip. Oh my goodness, isn't that beautiful? So I'll pop a picture of the flower up on screen. After I had this shipped, Lucke actually put a picture up on their Instagram of one of their Alma Kees flowering. So I did wonder, is it Alma Kee season? Are they going to all be flowering? So the reason I got it, I'm not usually a fan of fluffy catleyas, but the Durigan just is a complete exception to that for me. I love it. It's also supposed to be one of the most fragrant catleyas, so I wondered if a hybrid might have a longer lasting flower than the Durigan. So we'll see whether the Alma Kee is fragrant, since it is about 50% Durigan. So this is from a recent import. I think they do 2 imports a year. They did Brazil in November and they've just done Thailand. So this is probably a recent import from Thailand that they've repotted. It's not fully established. It is looking very dehydrated on these canes. This is often the case with recent imports. They go through a lot to get to us, but all that new root growth, it was obviously a very vigorous, healthy plant, and it'll recover, no problem. Those will plump up within probably a few weeks because we've got nice new roots. So that's the main thing. It doesn't really matter about this. The flower probably won't last. It's just the way it is. We'll get a nice preview of it, but look at all those roots. It's falling out the pot, but this will recover with no problems at all. This is a perfect stage to kind of get a plant in, to be honest, when it's just putting out all these new roots. So it'll adapt with the least fuss to a kind of immediate transition. So that is all of the orchids unboxed from my order. So I'm just going to get this box out of the way and do a little roundup with them. So this is my rather huge Lucke Orchideen orchid haul, mostly Cattleya's, and we've got a couple of Dendrobiums in there also. I'm extremely happy with the plants I've received, and they all look to be freshly repotted, which is something that I can really credit nurseries for, because I understand that it's a huge job and probably not cost effective for them to do, but it would really help people, especially people who aren't wanting to repot straight away. I'm kind of suspicious of nursery plants, therefore I repot straight away. But if we knew that the media that they were in were fine and there were no plugs, we wouldn't necessarily need to repot our orchids straight away. So I think that that's a real credit to them for doing that. So I'm just going to do a little roundup and a walkthrough for each orchid with a little brief overview again, now that they're fully unpackaged. So this is their free gift Dendrobium, which is the Dendrobium Memoria Christa Erdmann, which is a cross between farmeri and griffithianum. Then crossed with thyrsiflorum. So it looks like it's going to be a really interesting hybrid. I can't find any pictures of this hybrid up on the internet, but both parents look beautiful, and this is my first of this kind of Dendrobium, so that's really exciting. This is the little Dendrobium unicum, which has a new growth and also has 2 buds at the end of the most recent cane to mature, so that'll give us a little nice preview. I will be unmounting it at some point when it's starting to put out new roots. This is the Cattleya Star Pink, which is the Laelia rupestris crossed with Cattleya loddigesii. And this one is the Brassavola Little Stars in the Cocoa Husk Plug, and the Cattleya Alma Kee, which is looking absolutely stunning. Really excited about this one, and it looks like a really healthy specimen. This one is the Cattleya granulosa crossed with Cattleya Durigan, then crossed with Cattleya loddigesii. Again, really nice healthy plant with a nice new growth on it, so it's got new root tips starting. This is the Cattleya loddigesii crossed with Cattleya skinneri, the 2 that I got, one for me and one for a friend. This one has 2 new growths on, the other one has just 1 new growth on, but both are producing new roots and look like really healthy specimens. So this is a little gift for a friend. I'll send that out when all this is over. This is a little Dendrobium parishii cakey with lots of new growths and new roots on that one. And this one is the Cattleya Memoria Bleui, which is the granulosa across to the Ctna seedling young plant. And this is the Cattleya Little Lemon Drops crossed with Cattleya Why Not, and this is my friend's orchid that I will ship over to her again when all this is over. And this is the LC Little Lemon Drops crossed with Cattleya cinnabarina, again for my friend. And the Cattleya walkeriana Galopeira, which has a new growth, and the Cattleya nobilior var Amaliae, which again has a new growth, or maybe a spike, but I think new growth. So I'm going to be repotting both of those. I'll be repotting all of these actually soon because they've all got new roots starting. They seem super healthy. They're at the perfect stage for repots as far as I'm aware. The only two that I'm a bit unsure about are the walkeriana and nobilior, but I think if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it now because there are new roots starting. So thank you so much for watching my little haul today and unboxing video, and I hope you've enjoyed this video and that this has given you some ideas for your wish lists. And one thing that I would like to say briefly before I go is that my channel hit 3,000 subscribers recently, so I wanted to thank you all for sticking with me and for all the new subscribers out there. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you're enjoying my videos. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys all later, and I hope you're all staying safe. Bye!